hybrid entertainment.
WindyCityUnderground.com, your music, your station. It's your girl, Queen Imani, and I have a very special guest in the studio with me today.
Hey.
Singer, dancer, actress, founder, and CEO of Wood Grain Entertainment. It's your girl, D Woods.
Hey, what's good? Hey.
Wow, so I was just talking to you. So you got here when?
Yesterday.
Yep. So how has it been? The weather, how's everything going?
Well, you know, I'm not used to this weather, but y'all are saying that this is good weather, so I'm like, okay, I'll roll with it, because you said that it was like below 7 last week, and I'm like, oh, well then I'm good with 30.
Yes. I mean, it's actually, this is great weather for us right now, because we used to see the snow, having to track through everything, change our shoes when we come in buildings, so that we're not, all in the way. So, we're loving this weather right now.
Yeah.
We can't complain at all.
I'll take it. Actually, it's warmer here than it is in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it may not be that way for long because Atlanta has schizophrenic weather.
Right.
It might be 70 degrees tomorrow. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, that's.
Wow. Yeah, I was just in Atlanta for New Year's Eve, and so I was loving the weather. And I came back here like, oh my goodness, had to bundle up. Came straight here. So I mean.
Yeah.
It's cool. So, speaking of your record label, let's talk about that a little bit. So, Wood Grain Entertainment.
Yep.
It's an independent record label. How did you go about, what made you decide that you wanted to go ahead and start your own record label?
Well, basically, I didn't want to put, my destiny and my future in somebody else's hands, somebody else's, decisions. As you all know, I was a part of the group Danity Kane, and when that disbanded unexpectedly for all of us, it was like, all right, well, just keep going, keep moving,
Right.
This is not my first situation, and it won't be my last.
Right.
I've been performing since I was 3 years old, so I've been prepared, I've been educated, I've been trained, and that was just another preparation for the next thing. And I just kept it moving, kept working in the studio with producers I had relationships with. I had video directors that rocked with me, dancers, musicians, promoters, and I just kept it moving. And then basically I was operating like a full label, just me by myself. And a friend of mine took me aside, helped me get my business like on paper, do all that, all the registrations, being, getting memberships in, associations like the Grammy Academy, like CSAC, like Sound Exchange, and just different ways. So I'm gonna be able to make this, my livelihood, and not just be relying on a big machine to do it. And it's a little bit more work, but you see the return. You know what's going in, what's coming out, and you're being able to execute your vision the way that you want it without having to compromise because somebody said no or XYZ, but you just have to be able to also take the responsibility when there is, I won't say a failure, but maybe a point of improvement. Right. And that's what I've been doing. And I have, of course, myself and my project, but I have an artist that I'm, developing. He's up next, and he's involved in a lot of the projects and things. We're just getting ready to roll him out too. I did a merger with Sony Red Distribution. So I have, major distribution, major independent. You know what I'm saying?
Right, definitely. I understand.
And just growing the business, and having fun with it, but also taking it seriously at the same time. Like, we're not in this for just one hot single for summer. Like, I want to see longevity. I want to see bigger and better projects, and break new ground and blaze new trails and everything like that.
Definitely. So since you've been performing, what you said, since you were 3, doing that, what made you, once you eventually started going, you have been dancing, you've been singing, what made you want to go into a group, like, even in terms of like doing Danity Kane? Like, since you've been doing that for so long, what made you want to go into, be a part of a group as opposed to going solo to begin with?
Well, it was just an opportunity. Really, I was in school, I was at New York University, I was studying theater there. And in New York, there's everything. There's dance, there's theater, there's film and television, there's music. I was going back and forth to Philly working with producers. I was on tour dancing for other artists. I was interning at radio stations, interning for Spike Lee's production company, 40 Acres and a Mule, and I was just at the point where I was just trying everything. I'm throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. And that was just another audition that was on my calendar of auditions. I was actually on tour dancing for Snoop at the time, and one of my producers was like, "You know what you should do?" And I'm like, "Really? You think that's a good idea?"
Right.
And it was just like, what's the worst that can happen? You know, the worst that can happen, you go in there, you do your thing, you'll make some type of network connection. Sometimes it's not always the job that you're going out for that you get. And I had learned that in just my experience in auditioning. Like, you may not get that role, you may not get that whatever opportunity, but if you put your best foot forward, you'll make a connection with somebody. You exchange information. Your network is your net worth, and that's really what I was looking at it as. I didn't really care whether or not I made it, but I knew I was just showing up and showing out. Like, hey, I know I'm dope. It may not be right for this situation, but you're gonna remember me. You're gonna see me the next time. Be like, I remember you from. And that's really all I was doing, and it and then materialized into that.
Panning out the way it's supposed to be. Definitely. So moving on from Danity Kane, you were acting as well. So we knew that you could sing, we knew you could dance. A lot of people, we knew that. So you think that after moving on from Danity Kane, you were able to actually showcase all of your talents? You think you're able to showcase all of your talents now, as opposed to just when you were in Danity Kane, where we knew that you were singing, we knew you were dancing, but now we know that you can act, even though you always could act, but now the public gets to see it.
Yeah, definitely. It's something where, like, I don't have to I don't have to hold anything back because I have to make room for 4 other people. And even through like stuff for my music, I can find ways to make the video more of a movie, make the choreography more technical, do different things with my voice where I can show off like my legit, musical theater, voice, way of singing, as opposed to just like the pop or R&B, like stylistically, whatever. So I'm just looking for opportunities that allow me that. I was featured in the film Blackbird that stars Monique, the Oscar Award winner. Monique and Isaiah Washington, acclaimed actor, and the producers, of course, they know I do music, so they asked me, would you like to submit music to the film? And I was like, yeah. So I wrote the song Find Your Way, which we released in connection with the film, and people were like, oh my goodness, I never knew you could sing like that. And it's like, well, that's because I just never had the opportunity. So, but now
you have to make room for other, or in a group. It's always kind of like that. And I listened to Find Your Way. I loved it, and I watched the video as well. And just even to be a part of the soundtrack for that movie, because that movie was such a powerful movie.
It's a heavy one.
Yes, it was.
A lot of people, like my dad watched it, he was like, that was a heavy movie. Like that, he was just like, you did good in it. I wasn't ready for everything that was about to happen.
That movie, it's definitely a heavy one. So what was it like working with Monique? What was that like?
It was great. Definitely, because I met Monique for the first time on her talk show, the Monique Show, which was on BET, and that was right after she won the Oscar for Precious. And that was right when I was stepping out on my own, and the first release that I did for Woodgrain Entertainment, which was a song called Legalize Me. So she gave me that opportunity to showcase that. And she just gave me some really great, words of inspiration backstage. And then to come, a few years later and work with her on set, like, she was definitely welcoming, encouraging. She was that way for everybody, like all the young actors that were on the set, because they were producers as well. Her and Isaiah, they were like behind the monitor looking, but they would always give like thumbs up, because there were some heavy scenes. So they would be like, here, shake it off, it off. We don't want you to get lost in the role.
Because I know that's got to be powerful. That's the experience for her to be able to go, and her playing that mother, that role she was playing, as well as with Isaiah as the father, and for them to be able to step right out of that role and then be able to, you know, critique and direct and everything, that's got to be powerful. So you think you picked up on a lot of things just moving forward that you could take on. Would you produce or direct your own film?
Yes, definitely. I'm actually, you know, working on a couple of things now, and you know, making those connections with that film. Like I stayed, you know, close to the whole process, because it's a whole process after you shoot the movie.
Right.
There's a whole nother level to the game with getting distribution and doing the film festivals, and then getting it to theaters, and then now it's on Netflix and DVD. So like learning that process, and that's the business end of it. And it's all interesting to me, because like it's like you have this baby and then you want it to grow up and go into the world. Right. So that's the way I look at some of these, you know, creative things. Like they're our babies. Like we nurture them, we put all this work into them, and then we're like hoping that the world accepts them. Right.
I understand. So, well, speaking like of your babies and creating and putting a lot into things, let's talk about your single, Keep Calm.
Yes.
Keep Calm.
Keep Calm. Dance to this.
Dance to this, which is, you know, while you're here, and then you start doing your master classes. Before this, were you in Miami or where?
I did one in Miami. I did one in St. Louis, in San Francisco, Atlanta. So we're just moving around and getting into the dance community. You know, a lot of people forget. You know, they're like, "Oh, I forgot that you dance." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm here to remind you."
Exactly. So, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this. You want to go ahead and introduce your song?
All right, people. This is Keep Calm. Dance to this. You need to turn up. Get ready to sweat out your perm and your shirt and all that good stuff. This is featuring Cakes the Killer, produced by Ace Harris and AK. It's your girl D Woods. Turn up.
You heard it here first. MoneyCityUnderground.com. Your music, your station.
Monique orchestrated it.
Hey y'all, it's your girl D Wiz, your favorite, and I'm hanging with my favorite queen, Imani, and the whole Supreme Radio crew.